Okay, everybody. As the government is so often doing these days, they are changing the rules again, and this is the Fed changing the rules on the Main Street Loan Program. And I just want to talk about it because this Main Street Loan Program was set up by the Fed in early March of this year so that they could give loans to people who they didn't think the PPP was going to do enough. And so the Fed wanted to come in over the top and give these loans and give the opportunity for businesses to access additional cash that otherwise they might not be able to meet. And so what they said is, we're going to look at your 2019 EBITDA. EBITDA is earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. We're going to look at your 2019 EBITDA, and we're going to calculate the loan off of that. And what we're going to do is, for the most part, it's going to be 4 times EBITDA, up to a maximum of 4 times your EBITDA from 2019. But the original loan started off at a minimum of $1 million. Then they went to a minimum of $500,000. Now they're down to a minimum of $125,000, which means that if you had an EBITDA in 2019 of $62,000, $62,500, you qualify now and may be eligible for this Main Street Loan Program. So the first thing that happened yesterday, by the way, today is June 9th. Yesterday, June 8th, the Fed had a conference call, and what they did is they said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to widen the eligibility up. So that minimum amount of EBITDA is now $62,500, or we're going to make loans, what they said, of $250,000 minimum. That's great news because it opens it up to a wide variety of people. Why is that great news? Because the loan provisions haven't really changed. It's still LIBOR plus 3% on the interest. They made one other change. And what they did was they said, instead of having 1 year of principal and interest free, which was basically a 1-year free look, they've taken it from a 4-year term to a 5-year term now. That's extended the term, and they've given you a 2-year free look. So there's 2 full years that you can take this money, take a look at it, and if you want to use it, great. If you don't want to use it, no big deal. The third thing that they did in this is the banks came back and said, well, wait a minute. This isn't going to work for us because it doesn't give us big enough guarantees on all loans. And the Fed came back and said, we are going to guarantee 95% on all Main Street loans. That gives the banks some extra sort of peace of mind that they might be able to underwrite these things and do them faster. So the Fed has published 3 term sheets. You can find them on their website. I'm going to put a link to the Fed's website here at the end of this talk, so you can go and do your own research and figure out whether this is the right thing for you. Just remember, there are some big hurdles to actually taking the Main Street loans. The first one is you cannot use the Main Street Loan Program to go and after the fact refinance debt. You can immediately take that Main Street loan and refinance debt into that lower interest Main Street Loan Program. So this is an opportunity to take higher interest debt and refinance into lower. But you can't take the money and then 6 months later decide you're going to refinance into this or pay off other debt. So that's important. The second thing that you've got to consider is that there is a limitation on distributions. You can only distribute money out of the Main Street loan money for tax purposes only. So if you're an S Corp, if you're an LLC, and you're making those regular quarterly tax distributions, make sure that you're thinking ahead as to how you're going to do it, because tax distributions are okay, but other distributions are not prohibited. Of course, there are a myriad of ways around that, and I encourage you, if you are at all skeptical of this or you want to talk about it, please email us at info@tgg-accounting.com. We're going to put our contact information up here right now so that you've got that. This Main Street Loan Program is a huge opportunity, and not many people are taking advantage of it. And the reason is a myriad of different reasons. The primary reason is the government keeps changing the rules. What I think you need to do out of this is 2 things. One, first and foremost, get all your stuff together. We have an organizer. We call it the bank organizer, the Main Street Loan Program organizer on our website. Download that, get all your stuff into it so that as soon as the banks are ready to start taking applications, you're going to be first in line. That was obviously a big plus for our clients who did that with the PPP. I think it's going to be a big plus for people who do that with the Main Street Loan Program. The second thing that you want to do is keep track of this. Email us if you'd like to. We are keeping tabs on a list of over 50 banks who will be soon taking applications for this Main Street Loan Program. As of yesterday, there were banks that said, okay, now we understand what the rules are. We're starting to get out there and make these loans. And the Fed is encouraging them to make them what the Fed calls immediately. So make sure you got that organizer, make sure you got your stuff organized, and then get in line as fast as you can. Find that bank. You don't have to go back to your existing bank. You can go to any number of different other banks. This is a chance for you to really get some lower interest debt and potentially get extra money that could act as a cash parachute in case this economy gets even worse. So remember, think about what this is, think about all the hurdles, think about all the opportunities, but there is some good news in this, and that is that the Fed just widened eligibility for everybody. We're here to help. Once again, if you have any questions about this, feel free to email us at info@tgg-accounting.com. Again, I'm going to put a link to the Fed announcement so that you've got that. You can see the term sheets, how they're offering these loans. And you could also read for yourself all the Fed minutes from the discussion on Monday, on yesterday morning. Whew, that was a lot. Okay. Thank you all for listening. Look, we are really trying our best to keep you as up to date as possible on all the new moves, everything that happens. And if there's new rules that come out, we'll get another one of these out. But we thank you for being a part of our successful small business community. And we're hoping that this is helping you even be more successful and take your business to the next level during these really challenging times. Thanks again for listening. We'll see you next time.